I've got a question for you that might keep you up at night heading into the Rams season in just 2 weeks. It's coming up next on Locked On Rams.
You are Locked On Rams, your daily Los Angeles Rams podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thanks for making Locked On Rams your first listen every single day, free and available wherever you get your podcasts. My name is Travis Rogers. Not only do I host the Rams post-game show and pre-game show on their flagship station, 710 ESPN, right here in Los Angeles, I also host this Locked On Rams podcast every single day, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Why don't you make sure that you click that subscribe button right now so you can make sure to get the best Rams content in your day every single day, and check out the Lock On Rams YouTube channel as well so you can see all the stuff that we're talking about along the way. Today's episode of Locked On Rams is brought to you by BriteCo, right? Check this out. This episode is brought to you by BriteCo Jewelry and Watch Insurance. BriteCo brings you comprehensive, fast, and affordable jewelry insurance for as low as $5 a month. Check out your special offer for Locked On listeners and get covered in under 2 minutes at brite.co/locked on. That's brite.co/locked on. Okay, here's what we're going to do on today's pod. Got a good one for you. We're going to talk about Jalen Ramsey's health heading into the regular season. We've spent so much time talking about the running back's health and, of course, Matthew Stafford's elbow. The Jalen Ramsey's shoulder surgery has kind of been pushed off to the side a little bit. How healthy is he, and will he be ready to go at the start of the season? That's coming up in just a little bit. Here's the next thing that we want to talk about as well, the joint practices between the Bengals and the Rams. What are we getting? What are we not getting? What do we like? What do we not like? That's just around the corner and coming up in just a bit. But let's start right here. Maybe you saw it, maybe you didn't. Tutu Atwell at the joint practice yesterday. Tutu Atwell made a spectacular catch over the shoulder, nice throw. He's behind the defense. He catches it, kind of a diving over the shoulder situation, rolls on the ground, pops up real quick, takes off again. Great catch by any measure. It was a terrific catch. If that was a catch by Cooper Kupp, great catch. If that's a Kupp, Allen Robinson, Odell, Robert Woods, any of the guys that we've seen come through here over the last couple of seasons, great catch. Tutu Atwell's rookie season last year, if we're just being perfectly honest, was a bust, right? He didn't catch a pass. He didn't touch the ball during the regular season as an offensive player, had a very small handful of returns before he got hurt, missed the whole year. It's a bust. And it's the conversation around him has been, hey, is he going to make the team? Is he going to be an impactful player? What are they going to do? Was the pick a bust, et cetera, et cetera? What about this question? Because if the answer to this is yes, what do you have? What if he's great? What if he's fantastic? What if it's not just, okay, they got a guy that can play in the NFL, which, that's fine. That's, you're going to need guys like that. What if he's great? Because what have we heard all camp long? What have you heard me say about Sean McVay on multiple occasions on Locked On Rams? Sean McVay tells the truth. Now, maybe he's not going to say, we're going to draft this guy at this spot, or we're going to run this play. Here are our first 10 plays. It's not that. But he doesn't say things are good when they're not. He doesn't say that things are bad when they're not. He doesn't say he loves a player one week and that the guy's a bum the next. What he says is more or less what he thinks, right? They thinking about making a move. So, there are those questions. If you said to Bill Belichick, hey, you guys are a little thin at wide receiver right now. Are you guys thinking about maybe making a move to go pick someone up? You asked that very same question to Sean McVay. He's like, we're looking at all our options. We have our eyes on some guys. And, I wouldn't be surprised if we did something here in the next couple of days. He's not telling you who they're going to go get, but he's saying that, we're thinking about it. So with that in mind, what has he been saying about Tutu Atwell? That he's kicking ass, that he's been really, really good, that he's been a guy that they have big plans for, that they're not using him in the preseason. They're not putting him out on that field because they have plans for this man. We know he can run like crazy. We know that he can get back behind the defense. We know that he's, the proverbial home run hitter. He's not a guy that you're going to dink and dunk to. He's not a guy on 3rd and 3 that you're going to throw the ball to. He's a guy on, 2nd and 1 that you're going to take a shot down the field for. What if he's the best possible version of what they had with Deshaun Jackson last year? Deshaun Jackson, remember I think it was against the Bucs, right, where they hit the big play down the field, long touchdown. I think it was a 75-yard touchdown. Place going crazy. McVay's going crazy. It was awesome, right? But Deshaun Jackson wants the ball. Deshaun Jackson has been in the league a long time. He's had a great deal of success, et cetera, et cetera. He wasn't happy in that role. What if Tutu is? What if Tutu really embraces that role and thrives in it? So, obviously Van Jefferson's going to be wide receiver number 3. Maybe at some point Odell comes back. But what if you have a guy that is a real threat to get behind you every single time, and not just in a once a season kind of way, but in a once a game kind of situation? That is a game changer for the Rams, because their offense functions really, really well. Their offense is incredibly multifaceted. Their offense is not just a passing on. They can run the ball. They throw it to the tight end. Obviously, Cooper Kupp. The ball goes around, right? And especially when you have a quarterback like Matthew Stafford, who can make every throw on the field. If you have a guy that is running down the field every time, getting behind people over and over again, opens up everything in the middle. It opens up the running game. But more than anything, every once in a while, that dude's going to be open. And you have a guy that can hit him with that ball like Stafford can, forget about it. What if he's great? What does that mean for this team? That would be extraordinary. And then so you start to peel it back from there. Well, what if he's not good? What if he's just pretty good? Well, that's a huge advantage. What if he's just good? Huge advantage. What if he's NFL average? But that's what he's NFL average at. That's a huge weapon in the Rams' arsenal. I'm not saying that he is, but seeing that catch and kind of putting all the pieces together where everybody keeps talking about how effective he's been, you start to think that they may be onto something with this guy. I can't wait. I can't wait for opening night on Thursday, September 8th, for a million different reasons. But getting to see him out there is one of those reasons for sure. Okay, coming up next, I want to talk about the joint practices, something that we were hoping wasn't going to happen. It finally did. And we'll get into that just around the corner. But first, let me tell you about Brite.co. Okay. You got to do this. Here's what you got to do, because this is terrific. BriteCo has a bunch of hilarious videos that you need to go see for yourself. You can go to Brite.co/locked on. And what they are all sorts of wedding proposals gone haywire, right? Guys dropping the ring at a ball game. Somebody dropping, he wants to propose to his girlfriend at this gorgeous waterfall in the middle of nowhere, slips out of his hand, goes over the cliff, right? These terrible, terrible, albeit pretty hilarious moments. They're happening over and over again. You got to go see these videos. Again, Brite.co/locked on. The point of all of this is you're going to want to make sure that your expensive stuff, that your jewelry is insured, right? You do not want to be the guy who lost the ring at the ball game and you got your whole section looking for it and some guy slips it into his pocket, right? You do not want to be the guy that goes viral on the internet for that. And the guys at BriteCo Jewelry Insurance will make sure that you're not. They're going to give you the replacement for the full value of that ring, no matter if it's lost, it's stolen, you don't know what the heck happened to it. It doesn't matter. Go to Brite.co, Brite.co/locked on. It is the fastest and easiest and cheapest way to cover your you-know-what with the best jewelry insurance in the business, and you'll get a couple of laughs at those videos. Thanks for making Locked On Rams your first listen every day. Make sure you check out the ultimate pro football preview starting August 31st. That is an 8-episode extravaganza to get you ready for the NFL season. The local team experts, me, Locked On Podcast Network, and the Odyssey NFL Insiders all coming into one ultimate NFL preview that starts August 31st. Search for the ultimate pro football preview 2022 on your Odyssey app, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts. Okay, so the Rams and the Bengals are in the midst of having a series of joint practices together on the heels of wrapping up the preseason against each other on Saturday afternoon. Kickoff, of course, is at 3 o'clock. Pregame show starts at 1 o'clock, hosted by yours truly on ESPN 710. Give that a listen if you got an opportunity to do that. So what are you hoping to get done? What do we like? What do we not like? One of the things that we like for sure is what we've seen from Tutu Atwell in these situations, but we talked about that in the previous segment. Let's talk about something that happened more recently. Two pretty good dust-ups between the Rams and the Bengals. It was kind of inevitable, right? Like, you would like to think that Sean McVay has his guys buttoned up. You would like to think that Zach Taylor, because he comes from the Sean McVay tree, has a similar philosophy on making sure that your players are being safe, that they're taking the necessary precautions, and that the last thing you want to do is break your hand or twist your knee or whatever it might be because you got beaten in a drill and you need to save face. You decide to punch somebody and all hell breaks loose, right? You're not looking for that. And you would think, we talked about this on a previous episode. Again, click that subscribe button on your podcast feed. The Rams don't pick up penalties in the preseason. The Rams are not a particularly heavily penalized team. The Rams don't have a lot of drama in their organization, and that's because Sean McVay, we're not doing that. You're gonna know the snap count. You're not gonna hold. You're not gonna get in fights. You're not gonna do all these things and put us at a disadvantageous spot because you can't control your emotions or follow basic instructions. He has created a culture where you do your job and you do it well and everything's great. But if you don't, you're not going to last very long here. And that's the way it should be, right? He didn't want his guys fighting. I would assume Zach Taylor didn't want his guys fighting, but there were some fights, right? And I don't know if you can coach that out, right? Because, making a joke about it is one thing. You beat me, I don't like it, but think about it. You're in a drill. You're in a, especially if we're talking lineman drills, which is where both of these things seem to have sparked up. It's basically a 5-second fist fight over and over again, right? Hut, boom. And then my hands are on your hands and my hands are up under your face mask and yours are up under mine. And we're pushing and shoving and we're trying to earn jobs. We're trying to get work in. We're trying to get ready for the regular season. And maybe you're just kicking my you-know-what over and over again. I don't like that. And I'm going to do something to try to even that out. And you don't like that. And the next thing you know, our emotions are involved and guys are getting what happened today. And thankfully, everybody escaped, at least so far, unscathed. But that's certainly not something that you're hoping happens. Some of the other things that we liked, Matthew Stafford and Allen Robinson connected for a touchdown in 7-on-7. That's really good news. The more that we can see those guys together, the more opportunities that they get to run plays together, find out each other's tendencies, nuances, likes, dislikes. This is very good news. They got those things going. Aaron Donald got home against Joe Burrow a couple of times, actually kind of tapped him on the shoulder a little bit. When I saw that in the videos, it reminded me of that moment in the Super Bowl last year where Joe Burrow introduced himself to Aaron Donald. Hey, yo, Aaron Donald, what's up? I'm Joe. And Donald's like, what? Like, you do know that I'm trying to murder you, right? You do know that given the opportunity, I will do you bodily harm. You understand that, right? And it kind of just speaks to Joe Burrow's the way that he goes about it. But that AD was able to get back there, I think is very, very good news. And then just the most obvious and basic part of all of this, they're getting good work in. They're getting good work against a good team. Aaron Donald's playing. Joe Noteboom is playing. Matthew Stafford is playing. The vast majority of the guys that are going to be on the field come Thursday, 2 Thursdays from now, are the guys that are on the field right now going up against other guys that are going to be the guys on the field, 3 Sundays from now. It's happening, and it's happening very, very soon. And preseason is fine and dandy, I guess, but you're not getting real reps. Matthew Stafford's not out there. Cooper Kupp's not out there. You're not going up against other guys that are out there, competing. And now that they are, that's very, very good news. Cooper Kupp, one of the Bengal defenders said that Cooper Kupp dropped a route on them that they've never, ever seen before. Stop and think about that for a second, right? There are basically, and this is courtesy of my friend Keyshawn Johnson, who has educated me on wide receiver categories and moves and route trees. There are basically 9 routes you can run. Right. And I'm not going to go through the trouble of listing them all. There are 9. And then there are variations on the various 9. But we're basically talking about 9 different things. Right. How often do you think somebody's done something that no one has ever seen before? Imagine if Clayton Kershaw showed up at Dodger Stadium and threw a pitch and everyone went, I've never seen that before. I mean, that would kind of blow your mind. Right. They've been playing baseball for a really long time. Ball either moves to the left, it moves to the right. It goes straight. It sinks. It might knuckle, right? It might not have any spin. It might go from a right-hander. We're kind of limited in what you can do, right? Same thing with routes in football. You can go and come back. You can go and come left. You can go and come right. You can go and just keep going. They're basically, going cross. There's a kind of limited things that you can do. It's not an infinite thing. Only Cooper Kupp dropped something that's nobody had ever seen before. It's kind of exciting. It's kind of awesome. I'm here for that. I can't wait to see it. I need to know exactly what it was and when we're going to do it again, because I've been watching football for a very long time. And there's things like feats of athleticism, but just flat out things you've never seen before. Sign me up. Can't wait to see that. All right, coming up next, Jalen Ramsey's shoulder. Should we be worried? Are we going to be good? That's right around the corner on Locked On Rams. As you gear up for the fall, you're going to need the right people on your team to help your small businesses fire on all cylinders. LinkedIn Jobs is here to make it easier to find the people you want to talk to faster and for free. Hiring people is hard. Finding the right person is difficult. With the right skill set, somebody that's going to fit into your organization. But here's how you can help yourself. Create a free job post in minutes on LinkedIn Jobs to reach your network and beyond to the world's largest professional network of over 810 million people. Then add your job and the purple #hiring frame to your LinkedIn profile to spread the word that you're hiring so your network can help you find the right people to hire. Simple tools like screening questions make it easy to focus on candidates with just the right skills and experience so you can quickly prioritize who you'd like to interview and ultimately hire. It's why businesses rate LinkedIn Jobs #1 in delivering quality hires versus leading companies. Here's how you do it. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the candidates you want to talk to faster. Did you know nearly 40 million job seekers visit LinkedIn? Post your job for free at linkedin.com/lockedonnfl. That's linkedin.com/lockedonnfl to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. All right, so a ton of attention has been paid to, obviously, Matthew Stafford's elbow. Number one, honestly, it's the story in training camp that until we see him go out there and fire it around against the Bills, and then you got Atlanta after that, and then you're in October, right? Hold your breath and hope that it works out and hope that he's ready to go. Number one injury question heading into camp and still heading into the regular season. After that, it probably is the running back situation that you've got both Cam Akers and Darrell Henderson dealing with soft tissue injuries, and they haven't seen any action in the preseason, haven't been able to participate nearly as much as you might like during camp. So that is on the list. We've kind of just blown past Jalen Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey had shoulder surgery at the end of the season. He's been recuperating from the decision or from the procedure. And he says that he's still not quite 100%, but that he expects to be right when he needs to be right. He said earlier in the offseason that he played half the year with a couple of AC joint sprains. And he was asked, hey, how are you feeling? Are you back at 100%? Are you fully healthy? And his answer was, not yet, but I will be when the time's right. That's what's important to me, honestly. I'm just being careful right now. I haven't been doing a lot of techniques, trying to pay a little light, not attacking at the top of the route like I usually would. Just certain technique things. I won't go into all of that. I'll be here when the time is right. Okay. Couple of things when you hear something like that. Number one, I wouldn't hate a far more detailed timeline. What is the time is right? Is that the playoffs? Is that when the fourth quarter of a tight game? Is that opening night snap one against the Buffalo Bills? What is when the time? I need a more specific definition because he could be saying, and he wouldn't be lying necessarily, that, no, I'm not 100% and I don't expect to be until Thanksgiving. But by then, I'll be good to go, and that's really all that matters. And we'll see what it is. That could be one of those things. I don't know. He's incredibly – that what allows them to do what they do with the rest of their secondary is predicated on Jalen Ramsey being really, really good, is predicated on him basically saying, who's your best guy? I got him. DeAndre Hopkins, I got him. Debo, I got him. George Kittle, I got him. DK Metcalf, I got him. Right? I take your pick. Mike Evans, I got him. Doesn't matter. Devontae, got him. I can eliminate him for the day. Now I just got to get my other secondary players to just kind of play to a draw across the other half of the field. if Jalen can't do that and he's playing to a draw or because he's not healthy enough and the other guys are playing to, now all of a sudden we're in fights. We're in tough, tight football games. That the inexperience of a Jacoby Durant, of a Darian Kendrick, Troy Hill, maybe not inexperience in his case, but maybe just flat out skill level. I'm going to lose as often as I win. And if that's happening over there, now it's dealer's choice when that quarterback goes back. Before it's there's number 5. Okay, he's over there. All right, we're going the other way. That's what it's been with him in his Rams career. I'm not worried yet. But if that is one of those, that's not just, we'll figure it out on the fly. If that piece isn't right the way that it has been in the last couple of years, changes the Rams defense. You still got AD, you still got Bobby Wagner, you still got some other guys that are very, very good football players. But when we talk about the Rams defense, it is the best at their position at all 3 levels. Aaron Donald, Bobby Wagner, Jalen Ramsey. And if Jalen Ramsey's not there, now all of a sudden we got to, you got to borrow from Paul to pay Peter or whatever that analogy is. Rams don't want to have to do that because the Paul in this situation doesn't have a lot of money. You can't borrow from him. He's already living check to check on the other side of the defense. All right, that's going to do it for this edition of Locked On Rams. Thanks for making us your first listen every single day. Now make your second listen the Locked On Rams Fantasy Football Show. It's Fantasy Draft Week. Vinny Eiler gives you over 20 years of NFL experience and unique angles to give you the most moves that no one else has. Get ready for your fantasy draft with Locked On Fantasy Football. Until next time, whose house? It's Locked On Rams house.